Chelene Knight, graduate of SFU's Writer Studio, has been published in Sassafras Literary Magazine, Room, Emerge, Raven Chronicles, and is a member of the editorial board at Room. Braided Skin, her debut book, is deeply rooted in her experiences of mixed ethnicity. Her mother is African American, and her father and his family were victims of the Asian expulsion in Uganda during the 70s, when President Idi Amin led a campaign of de-Indianization, resulting in the ethnic cleansing of the country's Indian minority. Her website is CheleneKnight.com, and she's on Twitter at @PoetChelene, and her book is there too afterwards. So please welcome Chelene Knight.
So before I read, I do get asked quite a bit what my book is truly about. So for me, it's about race, but it's also about finding a sense of belonging and finding a home, finding a place where you can truly be yourself. And that's what Braided Skin is about. So this next piece was written after doing a lot of research about where my father comes from. So I only grew up with my mother, who's African American, and my dad is actually East Indian and from Uganda. So him and his family were part of the Asian expulsion, where people were, if they were not Black Africans, were asked to leave the country. So after doing a bunch of research, I became pretty much fascinated with the history books that talked about Uganda and that part of history. So because I didn't grow up knowing about this, I decided to find out for myself. So this is Uganda, 1972. A once promising land evaporating, the people abolished, divided and shaken by the expulsion, the elimination. The threat of an ethnic cleansing of the Indian minority hovered over Asian carpenters, mechanics, shoemakers, and tailors. The middlemen flail in the political winds. Minority eyes must speak. Identify yourself. Break through for Uganda. Kampala, tombs of kabakas have woven thatched roofs that swoop to a high point above the straw-laden floors, lending a cathedral-like silence to the sacredness of the earth below. Royal attendants continually watched over the remains of their dead kings. Kampala, the arched and pillared windows were endless. Nestled behind sundown rests an Indian dialect of silks and cottons. Their eyes lettered names like Patel, Desai, and Bombay Emporium. The ashes of Uganda walked many miles and carried their heads. The walk was tedious work. It took years. Now, it's an image left behind. Why should we wait in line for justice? Help us begin to drink the pain of Uganda, and one day, replant our roots. The mountains appear at sunset, and the hillsides of women flow in the breeze. The men bring comfort, but their eyes tell stories of death. In their minds, their birth. Precious jewels in a hairdo or turban confiscated, but still hear tales of escape. They look back on the homes they built. They look back on the tiny store their grandfather established, alone in their difficult hours, uprooted. So this next piece is kind of it transformed a lot. It started out as a rant, like an angry kind of a poem, but then it turned more into a discovery about myself. And I wrote it in the form of a musician performing her music on stage. So this is In the Green Room. Eyes on me, long stare up and down, longer stare. Stuck in this frustrating and degrading conversation, you who won't be happy with the answer I give because your perception of blackness is completely distorted. Assumptions come to the table already orally armed. Defend my skin tone, hair color, hair length, and hair texture. Isn't this one of the most multicultural, mixed, biracial baby breeding cities in the world? And no, you cannot touch my hair, tangled, caught between nails of acrylic tips, rows of fishtails intertwined, a maintained fusion, cut dead ends, then weave these tracks back like braids and plates. She oils and slicks sides, pats down, then poops up. Make up your mind. One drop rule bleeds into the blue-eyed illusion of good hair, stressed to overprocess these tips, these roots, these plaits, these locks. She dreads. Enter stage left and find the mic. Sing sweet, these brown skin confessions. Brown skin, black skin, caramel dipped skin, leathery burnt skin, ceases to remember skin like the war-torn country skin. She breathes skin. Found 14 feathers in a notebook, imprinted on creased pages, faded cover led to an ellipsis, watch eyes burn holes through layers of skin, yet never happy with these answers of ethnicity. Let's gather confessions of ebony-boned princesses. Let's steal stories of brown-skinned contessas and drown memories of her one-tone, let me pick a side, skin. So I tend to write a lot in prose, and this next one is a prose poem that was inspired by the movie Hustle and Flow. After seeing that movie, even though it's not about writing, it's about creative process. And it's about finding a place. And for me, that's what I'm most interested in. And there was this phrase that was repeated throughout the movie multiple times, and that phrase was, by any means necessary. So that stuck in my head. And with that came this piece entitled, How to Run Your Fingers Through My Hair. Everyone has to contribute a verse. Get it down on paper, on tape, on canvas, on napkin, on palms of hands, or on a crumpled up grocery receipt. Get it down. Speak in prose, encrypted simplicity, and wrap words around words like hands wrap thighs. Let brown eyes drink the blue fragrance of voice. Dream that fragrance. Learn by any means necessary. Tell stories. Tell tales of all the mama's combing daughter's hair every morning. Preach that pain, that tightness, that jaw clenching fierceness that eventually causes numbness. Look up, see the light even when it hurts to smile for days and days and days at a time. Remember stories of hair, your stories. Talk about that separate entity, that journey. What's my contribution? I'll answer questions. Do you braid? Do you do slap plates? You quick? Where are you from? Let me tell you where I'm from. I'm from my softness, my texture, my smoothness, my smile. I am from my words, my syntax, my mama's skin burning hot wax, and I'm from myself. I'm from my hair, my stories, pulled, stretched, curled, loose strands balled up and tossed. I am from every last piece of every last breath, taken and given. I will tell stories, share stories, and write stories, by any means necessary. So, you want to run your fingers through my hair? So, that's all I'm going to read from Braided Skin, but I do have a poem I'd like to share from my newest book, Dear Current Occupant. So this is, Dear Current Occupant of the last house I remember. It is so ordered. It was always about going back home. No hands around your throat, heat of the night, backyard silence. Let these children play. Now, you may never know how the pull between two sets of lips feel, or the warm air stuck in between the two. This may be so. Yes, it was only about going back to the bricks that line the path to the house with the one yellow light lit to guide them inside, to the knee socks and high-waisted pants, to the simple things. not left alone. A clothesline hung from thick rope is the only piece of sweet silence swinging north to south between two poles planted deep in the dirt. Thank you.
Dina Del Bucchia is the author of Coping with Emotions and Otters, Blind Items, and the forthcoming Rom Com, written with Daniel Zomparelli, who co-hosts the Can't Lit podcast with her, which is hilarious. Dina Del Bucchia is co-artistic director of the Real Vancouver Writers Series, and she writes and thinks about pop culture, self-help, celebrities, comedy, and of course, emotions and otters. Dina holds an MFA from UBC and lives in Vancouver. Please welcome Dina Del Bucchia.
So in this book, there are blind items, as well as very obvious poems about encounters that the narrator, the speaker of the poem, has with a variety of so many. And then her own story is told in blind items as though she is a celebrity and she's not to be identified. So I'm gonna read a couple celebrity poems. This one's got some pretty strong feelings in it. It's called Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts. She's not even secretly mean. Were your nails chewed on by a rabbit pony? I don't understand what you're doing with your life. That combination of humor and intelligence is disgusting. You failed to make me care enough to hate you. I'll take the cognac one? No, not a secret. Me. Beyonce. The fear of flying, her secret. Sedated, eyes dozy, arm limp, hand dull on the carpet. She struggles with a down pillow. Bumped to first class, I cross the country across the aisle from her. Matchless skin, luminous eyebrows, essence confined to a single seat. She looks so tiny when she's not dancing. She whines as she wakes. Quiet, I drink warm Chardonnay, mostly avert my eyes from the way she shakes. Quivers in her cashmere travel blanket. Shies away from the sounds she makes. Questions asked in a dreamy drawl. A flight attendant brushes the cart down the aisle. I scoop Beyonce's hand into her lap, whisper, relax. Groggy, she balls her body and her naked eyelids flutter. We make kaleidoscope eye contact. She asks, are you afraid of anything? I whisper, relax. Can't lie and say, yes, you. So now I'm going to read from Coping with Emotions and Otters, which is half pseudo self-help. I think you could be helped with some of this advice. And then the other half is, as you can tell by these adorable otters holding hands, is about animals. And definitely some anthropomorphizing of specific animals. So I'm going to read from How to Be Ashamed. So in the first section of the book, there are step-by-step guides to help you harness emotions that are usually reserved for judgment. People don't want you to embrace these particular emotions. So their anger is in here, jealousy. But these poems are going to help you use that to your advantage. So this one is about shame. And at the beginning, there are some shame affirmations that I'm going to provide for you, and I might get you to repeat them back to me. So, shame affirmations. If you still question your commitment to shame, or are unsure if you have enough built up inside you, don't be discouraged. The following suggested shame affirmations should provide even the proudest person with a stockpile of deep humiliation. It will last for months, perhaps even years. Repeat these affirmations in the order in which they are listed. Then try mixing them up. Eventually, you will find the right way, because one does indeed exist. There is always a wrong way. 1. I will save each gray hair I shed in the glass box reserved for love tokens. 2. I will admit I was the one who peed in the sandbox in grades 2 and 4. Please repeat that. I will admit I was the one who peed in the sandbox in grades 2 and 4. Doesn't it feel good to let it out? 3. I will strive to achieve a better credit rating and fail. 4. I will eat burnt dinner while watching the Weather Network. 5. I will hold my dreams close to my heart. Please repeat. I will hold my dreams close to my heart. 6. I will salvage my discards from the dumpster. 7. I will reveal one secret fantasy per week. 8. I will try to impress the smart woman at the Whole Foods deli with my knowledge of fantasy football. 9. I will fish for compliments until a friend excuses herself. 10. I will examine my failings, each weakness documented in my shame journal. 11. I will wonder how I survived. Please repeat.
I will wonder how I survived.
Wonderful. How to be ashamed. Why are we so afraid of shame? The feeling that heats our chests and cheeks is powerful, and if used at full force, has the ability to make us better people. Don't hide from your shame. Don't put it in a drawer with your lost dreams, catalog clippings, soggy matchbooks, and expired condoms and allow it to turn to clutter. Allow it to blossom. Once you take this emotion seriously, you'll be rewarded with a bouquet of flowering shame. 1. Return to your elementary school, squat on tiny toilets, wash your hands next to fresh, sticky 6-year-olds. Compare your withered skin to theirs, abundant, elastin, ignorant. Look down and see their hopeful heads, level with your pocket full of bland business cards, flat to hip, slated to unimpress. Rectangles of paper no one asks about anymore. 2. Create a crossword about your life, memories blissful, all elation, significant moments that would suit a personalized greeting card. Watch your loved ones struggle to fill numbered blocks. Unsure of specific reasons you experience joy. 3. Remain calm. Shame will most likely come to you. Warm in on the lips of a friend, the shade of summer, repulsion and rejection. Welcome it. 4. Use public transportation to move small items to a new home. Tote expired dairy products, use toothbrushes, soiled rags, useless lint roller. Make multiple trips to expose your meager life to as many strangers as possible. 5. Make copies of your prom photos. Cut them into geometric shapes, each inscribed with notes, secret shames. Attach comment cards, a return address, a sliver of skin. At lunchtime on a clear day, climb to the roof of a building where you were let go for working too slowly. Scatter your photographic confetti. Wait. 6. Talk politics with your secret crush. Catch the glint of uncertainty as you mispronounce countries, movements, or publications that don't exist. Listen to the rebuttal, shake your head, agree, then make the same mistakes all over again. Watch a nervous check of time, mutter excuses, fumble for common ground, connectivity. It's not that you don't agree, just that you're so oblivious you can't even change the subject. 7. Take Paxil daily while you stand at the water cooler. Ease the pill down your throat, tell everyone, these pills, these horse pills, these candy-coated jokers, wife makes me take them, all for her, worried about my ticker. Heart disease is relatable, builds bonds, though you know your coworkers have figured you out. Persist with this lie. 8. Closely follow a reality TV competition. Add the number of your chosen competitor to your phone's favorites. Ignore your unpaid bills. Each week, scrutinize the dancers, singers, chefs, and models. When your favorite is voted off, Create a fan page. Become friends with preteens who share your interests. When confronted, pretend your devotion is a joke.